What's up everybody? In today's video, I'll be sharing with you my personal decision-making framework whenever I decide to invest in a coaching program, a mentorship, a course, or even any big project that will take a lot of my time, my effort, my energy. And what I would invite you to do is, if you're ever wondering about whether to invest in a big project or big program that I just mentioned, you can always come back to this video, jam through some of the ideas I'm going to talk about in this entire sharing, and then you can always discuss with me if you ever need to. So we'll get started. I do this in 4 key frameworks, and I'm going to talk about each one of them, and you can use that to guide your thinking process after watching this. And I'll use a couple of examples of my own personal decisions as well, right? Number 1 is a business plus mindset coaching program that costs about $25,000 in total per year when I was about to become a dad. Number 2, I will also talk a little bit about my decision about investing in personal fitness. So that's another way as well. So it's not just for money related stuff, it also can be for personal related stuff. Also, we'll get started. The first thing I always look at is alignment. One thing to note is you're going to get, with marketing messages, with sales, with friends, you are going to get many different ideas and ways that you can potentially upgrade any area of your life. The wonderful thing to note is the opportunities will always be there. But the bigger question to ask yourself is, what is truly aligned to your priorities right now? Because you have to understand that you can do anything you want. But the thing is, you cannot do everything all at once. What I look for, I look at alignment of my priorities, my goals, and my season of life right now, maybe for the 3 to 6 months over that year. What's my key priorities, my key goals? And more importantly, is this something that I would truly implement right now at this season of my life? And as a recovering info seminar coaching junkie, I have invested in so many things that were actually very freaking good, but they weren't actually something I would implement because it wasn't my priority at that point of time. One thing I look at are things, what's your biggest bottleneck for your business? What are your biggest key focus for your business or your life or your career at that point of time? For example, for me, I knew when I was preparing to be a dad, I knew one of my biggest struggles was 2 things. Number 1, internal game. All right, I knew there was a lot of internal wiring that I still want to upgrade myself on so that I can become a better dad, better entrepreneur at this BDC of my life. When I joined that program, I knew that was not just helping for business, but also helping me for mindset as well. Because he was a dad also, and I was very into the inner game. Number 2 is obviously it would grow my overall business in terms of strategy, frameworks, processes. I could model after what he has done for his clients, his sales, his marketing. And by going in and getting live mentorship, live coaching from him, I knew I could benefit in every single area of my business. And I knew that I would have the time to implement months before the baby came, because that was my intense period of implementation. If I sign up for personal finance, I knew I would actually go and focus on it. I would actually implement it. And it was not a time where I was injured. It was not a time where I couldn't exercise. It was not a time where I was traveling most of the time. So I knew it was a period of time I could implement. So number 1, is it aligned to what you are doing right now? Is it aligned to your season of life? Is it aligned to your priorities? That's number 1. Number 2 is value. You have to think through, what does it truly help you to achieve? And you want to be very grounded over here, because what happens is all the marketing messages or the sales messages is going to sell you the absolute dream outcome, right? This one email will help you make 100,000 per month. This one exercise will help you to unlock every single karma, right? And every single whatever in your life, right? One thing to note is you have to be very grounded. Ask yourself, what can it really help you to achieve? And one thing I do is I always ask myself, what is the likely best case scenario? What's the likely best case situation, result that could happen, instead of whatever these marketers or these salespeople or these sales pages are telling me? And does it help you to address a potential bottleneck you're facing in your business? Does it help you to increase a certain metric of your business, your career, your finances, of your life that's important to you? You have to ask yourself, what does it truly help you to achieve? And does it address something that you're focusing on? Does it something is a bottleneck? So it's back to alignment, but now it's more onto the value point of view. Okay? One thing I always tell myself is, what is the most likely? And that is an important term for me to emphasize on, because most likely just simply means you are not going to think about the absolute dream outcome. I know it's fine to dream and fine to have amazing, ambitious goals, but just going to be grounded with your current personality, your current situation, your current priorities. What would be a likely dream outcome for you? Back to the business coaching program. I knew that likely it's not if I invested in 25K, I would suddenly make 100K per month, right, out of nowhere. It's not that I would suddenly make 50K, right, out of nowhere. But what's likely, if it could help me make anywhere from a consistent 20 to 30K per month, That would be amazing if I implemented this over the next couple of months. Or number two, if it allows me to become a more grounded entrepreneur, to be a more mindful entrepreneur, to be allowed me to be someone with a lot more personal power, right? To have more mindsets, and even potentially it allows me to better coach and better leader because I model after my mentor, my clients as well. And so the thing to note is that it's not about just, okay, even though he was talking about making 50, 100K, and I know that's potentially possible. But as I always tell clients, I always tell all of you, which is, it's never about whether your goal is realistic or not. It's always about whether is your timeline realistic or not. Be very mindful when it comes to thinking of the value of whatever you think about. Then number three is obviously what we call risk. What is the biggest risk that you feel that might happen? And this also links to what I call what's the most likely worst case scenario. Worst case scenario in terms of risk could be in terms of loss of money, loss of time, loss of effort, loss of relationships. It don't have to be just money. It could be time, attention, effort, relationships, wasting time, right? They could be doing something else. Also, there's something to take note of also. When it comes to the likely worst case scenario or the risk, money is a big one. For example, it's going to be a lot easier for me to invest in a $7 product versus a $100,000 program or $50,000 program. If there's very low risk and it doesn't significantly affect my life, even if, let's say, I lost it all, hey, technically, I'm fine, right? I can probably go for it, assuming it's aligned to me and it's something that I believe it could be valuable. If there's a money back guarantee in the program and stuff and you're not using it just to take advantage of it or to abuse it, all right, I would say if it's low risk, why not go for it? Another thing to note when it comes to risk is that the problem with looking at risk is that it's not just the worst case scenario of losing your money and you never get any benefits. So sometimes, even though you don't get the actual value of the investment or the project or the program, you'll probably get some benefits of it as well. So you want to be grounded with it. The worst case is usually not the worst case. Let's say if I was investing in my business coaching program, even though if I don't make $10,000 to $20,000 per month, what are some other benefits that can happen either way? Could it be I would learn about how he structures his modules so that I can do it better for my clients? Would it be powerful content ideas for me to share my lessons from working with him, and that allows me to increase my credibility? Could the worst case be simply the fact that, and one thing to note, and I didn't mention, right, which is even though it's $25,000 per year, it was actually paying about $375 USD per week. So the worst case is, if let's say after 3 months it doesn't work, I can cancel it and I do have to lose $25,000 as well. So that is another way to think through. And another potential benefit, if let's say I didn't make the money I wanted from the program, would be the fact that I actually get to learn all the inner game, all the mindset stuff, and I know that will serve me for the rest of my life as well. For personal fitness, maybe I don't get six packs. Maybe the biggest risk is I still gain weight, I still gain muscle, I still lose muscle. Maybe that's the worst case, right? If I don't care about diet and stuff. But whether I achieve my goals from my personal fitness program or not, I know I'll definitely be able to improve my form, be able to get new exercises that's going to help me out for the rest of my life, and that is going to be useful. Or it could also mean, at that point of time I was investing in my personal fitness, I was actually doing it together with Brian, right? Brian, for those who know, my marketing mentor. And the worst case is, we'll just have chance to talk more and to chat and to exchange ideas together as well. Be very mindful of what is your risk. And firstly, before I go into the fourth thing, remember alignment, value, risk. Then you want to have what I call 3 key scenarios for you to think through. What's the likely best case scenario, which is through the value portion that we talked about? What's the likely worst case scenario that is likely to happen, right? Not just in terms of the biggest losses, but okay, even if the worst case scenario, what are some benefits that you could have? Making friends, right? So on and so forth. And number 3 is, what is the most likely to happen if you think about it? So maybe it might not help me to achieve 30K per month immediately. But what's most likely? If you can help me hit 15K USD per month, 20K USD per month in monthly recurring revenue, I think that's pretty likely to happen because I trust myself. I have more experience. I have info knowledge about what is potentially going to happen when I do sign up for a program. And then that allows me to go on to the fourth factor, which is at the end of the day, you want to integrate it with your nervous system, your gut, to make that decision. When it comes to your gut, right, something that I cannot really explain too much. Sometimes it just means sitting down for 10 minutes and asking yourself, what does your intuition tell me? Sometimes your gut means just brain dumping it to ChatGPT, right? Use the MIGPT to do it and to get the perspectives or blind spots or feedback that you might have never known without this brain dump. Or it could just be you talking to some friends, right? From then you can decide and make a decision. But the most important thing is you want to make a decision rather than avoiding it day after day, week after week, month after month, because then you'll start eating at you and it's going to be very irritating, right, to your mind space. So I'd rather you decide. Okay, this is the 4th framework, alignment, value, risk scenario. And I'm going to do a very quick bonus, which is the 5th thing, which is if I decide to make that decision. If I decide to make that decision But let's say financially, right, I feel that it might be a stretch or it might be a struggle for me, right, in terms of make the investment. Then my question is, how can I potentially raise the funds or the resources to be able to maybe address some of the financial stress? So maybe that means even if I raise some funds, it doesn't mean I have to cover everything, but it allows me to feel maybe less stress for it. So I'll give you two examples. So for my business coaching program, as I mentioned earlier, when it happened, I knew that I wasn't be too stressed because why? I was already going to more or less decide to remove 2 of my team members already. So that gave me quite a bit of leeway. And at a point of time, and many of you know, YY, right, decided to leave around that period of time as well. And that gave me even more confidence that I could reinvest it into my coaching program investment as well. At the same time, during that period, I started raising funds by doing one-time offers, by inviting people to join my program with additional bonus or perks or features, right? I did a bigger push than usual to get a couple more clients to jump on board in order to address some of finances, my cash flow as well. So that's being resourceful. So sometimes not just resourceful, it's about being resourceful. Another one, right, was way back about 5 to 10 years ago. We wanted to invest in a $5,000 investment program. I didn't have much money about time. But what I did is I went back to all my friends who I've helped investing, trading, when I used to give free workshops, free investment classes. I asked all of them, say, hey, I'm doing a crowdfunding campaign right now. Would you want to potentially support me, right? And this is what you'll get, right? I'll teach you what I learned. I'll give you my tips. I'll give you my investment stock market. I will share with you my stuff, right? On and on and on. And if after 1 year, if you feel that your crowdfunding amount of $300 is not worth it, I'll refund you back the money. So I did a big crowdfunding campaign, which more than paid for my investment coaching program of $5,000 as well. Same thing, Fun and King Life, right? So in 2020, when I went for Fun and King Life, I didn't want to use my current funds because I was allocated financially already. So what I did, again, I did a crowdfunding campaign. I told people, hey, I want to raise funds to go US. It takes about $5,000. And if you just support me with $250, $300, I'll come back. I'll share with you all my lessons. I'll give you business marketing coaching. I will share with you all my notes, my sharings. I'll share with you what I learned, my books. I'll buy you a book, blah, blah, blah. And if after 1 year, if you feel that it's not worth even that $250, I'll pay you back all the money. And again, I raise funds, all of that as well. So I hope this helps. Let me know if any questions. Again, just a quick recap. Number 1, it must be aligned to you. If it's not aligned to you, everything else that we said don't matter at all. Number 2, value, right? Does it truly add value to your life, your business, your career, finances? Does it address any bottleneck, any struggle you're facing right now? Right? Or is it just a good to have? So again, does it really achieve some form of goal that you are looking at, or achieve something that you know will definitely help you achieve your goals? Number 3, risk, right? What's the biggest risk, right? Money, time, effort, relationships. But again, when you think about your worst case scenario, your biggest risk usually is you'll still get some benefits even at the worst case scenario. Number 4, right? Then at the end of the day, you look at your gut, right? Look at your gut, your decision making, talk to people, have the courage if you need to, sleep on it if you have to, but make a decision ASAP rather than avoiding it, because that's when a lot of it goes to your head. Remember, yes, no, or not yet. Alright, so let me know any questions. I hope this is useful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!